I'd like to help you get started with your light research for this assignment. Go ahead and click on Opposing Viewpoints. Because you are not at school and at our IP address, you will need to look up on the database password sheet that your teacher included with your Canvas assignment. You will need to look up the library ID. I'm typing it in and I'm going to click Sign In. At that point, it looks like it always has. From here, you are going to think about those issues that you just kind of touched on through those surveys. But if you can't remember, or you need a little motivation, I like to start with browsing issues over here. So a lot of the hot issues that you might be looking for are going to be here. So something like abortion was on that list. Something like presidential pardons was probably on like a more extensive version of the I side with. Freedom of speech, I believe that the police brutality is something that was mentioned. I believe that we've got a whole bunch of things. Environmental, I'm having a little trouble with my alphabet. Environmental, Equal Rights Act, Electoral College was mentioned. So when you choose the issue that you want, and maybe you already know because there's something that really speaks to you, you are going to come here. And this is just an overview. This is almost like looking at Wikipedia. This is just written from some database employee, and it's a really nice way of breaking down the basics of the Electoral College and the different sides. All right, if you decide that that's what you're going to be using, that's great. There's your citation already formatted for you, and you can go from there. If you need more than that, which normally we always do, that's so basic, scroll down here and it has a section on featured viewpoints, and then a variety of other sources. A lot of the time in social studies, we always require primary sources. I don't know if this is the right time for that necessarily, but there's a lot of information broken down here. Newspapers, magazines, websites, which you can obviously find on your own as well. I wouldn't go as far as the academic journals just because I don't think you'll have the time to read through something like that. But there's a whole lot of a whole lot of information, and I believe that you will be able to find both sides very easily if you just go to Opposing Viewpoints, browse issues, and choose that issue. Of course, if you already know what issue you would like to look up and it has something to do with, let's say, Second Amendment rights, I bet that there's a whole section on that as well. And there's different viewpoints here, and you can go about it that way. But I do still think that browsing the issues, because maybe it was actually spelled out for us. No, it's not there. Let's look at G for guns. Gun control, guns and violence. I would say that those might be the same way of looking up something different. As you can see, just from sort of viewing me go through this process, it's not super clear cut. I think that sometimes thinking about synonyms that might be used for the same thing would be really helpful. I'm here for you if you need any help with opposing viewpoints. Another database available to you on this assignment that's called Issues and Controversies. Again, this is password protected. You can see our username is right there because it populated for me. And you'll also need the database password sheet to know how to get in here. At this point, it's sort of the same type of thing where there are all issues here by subject. If you kind of have an idea of where you want to go, this is great. But if you're really clueless like I am, then just do the A to Z and maybe something will pop out at you. I don't know. And of course, not everything here is even appropriate for you to choose. Not every one of these is like a voting issue. which is what your assignment sort of dictates. So I might choose climate change this time. And again, there's pro-con articles for you to look at. And that really breaks it down on two sides of an issue. There's stuff on fracking, which was sort of discussed in that as well. Once you find an article that you want to look at a pro-con on climate change here, there are different types of sources, and you can find the citation again right here. It does default to MLA as well, and you're more than welcome to use either one of those databases for this assignment.